I would say buongiorno, but it's the afternoon there. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lou DeFlavis, Luigi actually, Vice President of Sales at Inks International. I am the chair of the Gravure AIMCAL Alliance. And Tony Donato.
And I am I am actually retired, but you never can totally retire when you're involved with printing. So what happens is that I am the last of the Gravure Association of the Americas staff, and I'm involved in the transition into as the Gravure Association of the Americas moves into the Gravure AIMCAL Alliance into AIMCAL, and I am assisting with the transition. I'm also assisting with training.
Thank you, Tony. So, Gravure Trends encompasses many areas. We merged with AIMCAL because they have a very similar mission and they do use the Gravure process. So our goal is to help with recruitment of employees, disseminate new technology, engage members in networking, participation and support of the organization, encourage green and sustainable practices, communicate potentially disruptive laws and trends, and also for the Gravure Industry Awards, the Golden Cylinder Awards. This just took place. We had our conference earlier this week in Orlando, Florida. And Tony can speak to, these are all of the things that were presented. He can speak to the different tracks because he was the main organizer of everything.
Well, what we did was that we started off on the first day by having an actual full day, an 8-hour seminar available for people that were new to the Gravure industry to give them the basics. And you can just sort of see all of the different points that we did. Each one of these was a different speaker, and they were a member of our organization that came and helped to be able to educate people that were new to the Gravure industry. Some of them were from Offset, some of them were new to industry in general, and some were from Flexo. Then we started into 3 full days where we had 6 sessions a day that started off in the morning. The AIMCAL Roto4All conference was tied into with ICE, which is the International Converters Expo, and it was we were at the Orange County in Orlando, Florida Convention Center, and we were on the 3rd floor, and the ICE was on the 2nd floor. So we ran sessions all the way till noon each day. Started early, and then so we had this is 9 sessions that we did. These were done on Tuesday and then half of Wednesday, and then these were the sessions that went on through the rest of it, and we ended up at 12 noon yesterday with the sessions, and ICE continued yesterday evening.
So, our goal and mission is to keep the Gravure process alive. We did have a very, very good keynote speaker, basically. She's actually from Formica, Renee Heitree. And what she did present was very interesting, especially with the current situation with the COVID. They did put together some new wood grain, as far as they developed this technology. Mainly, there was a lot of questions and concerns about using bleach and other cleaning products. They went away from the traditional step and repeat, and they did this scanning type process, and they also are able to do embossing to give it kind of like a real wood feel. And also they're also competing with things like the different composite materials and also for granite, etc. So they've come up with some really new designs they look fantastic. Use the Gravure process, and this has been under development since 2010. Here's another member of ours, Polywash. They developed this machine. This is mainly used for the print film that's used as a startup and registration, and they're able to actually wash off the ink from the film and reuse the film again and again, as many times as it will allow there.
Or it can be reground, and then Polywash is actually the solvent. I just realized when I made this slide that Polymount is the company, a European company, and they are a member. And they had a lot of interest at their booth, that people were interested at the ICE to be able to come and talk to that after they presented. They were part of our presentations during our technical presentations.
Here's another member of American Packaging, partnering with FlexoWash, is another member. And here's, they've developed a system to actually clean the Gravure cylinders. It's much safer than having people wash manually. And Tony can elaborate a little bit on this technology.
And this was originally they were using 8 people over a 3-shift period to be able to clean the rolls, and people basically were in rain suits and had boots and chemical gears on the PPEs, and had to clean and scrub all the cylinders using this technology. This was the first one into the United States, and American Packaging has also added some new presses, Gravure presses, over the last few years. So they're one of the very progressive and moving forward in the Gravure industry. But this really helped them tremendously. They are now cleaning 80 to 120 cylinders a day. They've reduced the number of people necessary to clean the cylinders so they can have them do other important duties. They reduced the amount of cleaners that they use. The biggest thing is they're not using solvent anymore, so it's a much safer and cleaner environment, because without using solvents, they eliminated the concern of fires while they're cleaning, with people dropping metal tools and doing things. So one of the other things they did in with the same time was that they added an automated storage system. So every roll is inspected after it's cleaned. If there's no damages or nothing that has to be corrected to the job, all the cylinders then are filed away and they're put into this automated system. And then when the next job comes up that requires them, this allows them then to pull the cylinders that they have and then take them to make ready so they can go into the trolleys. So this was one of the things to be able to make the Gravure system to be much easier to work with, and to be able to be more efficient on the shop floor. One of the other things that we participate in, and we actually have one coming up with the University of Western Michigan on November 1st. We have 4 different members that are going to speakers at this virtual meeting. And what we try to do is that we have 7 different universities that we work with as part of the Gravure Education Foundation. And we encourage the Gravure Days as being a day that they'll spend, have the students and the faculty exposed to Gravure information all day long from speakers. And a lot of the universities would have tours to go to a local printer. If there was a printer close by, that they could go see Gravure as being done. But this is one of the things that our association is working very hard with, to make sure that we get Gravure taught into the schools, because some of the issue that happened here in the States is that Flexo became the one that was being taught the most, because you can get very much lower price Flexo presses compared to Gravure press, and then also with the narrow web, so it's easier to teach the process. And then so what happened was Gravure sort of got left behind as being, oh no, Gravure is obsolete. But we're trying to make sure that no, Gravure is not obsolete. Gravure is very important. It's an integral part to packaging, especially to product Gravure, and it's involved with other processes that uses the Gravure process that don't consider themselves printers, but it's being used also in print electronics and some other stuff. So we try to make sure we stay involved into that. And then we also participate with other organizations and other print organizations. And one of the things that we work with is, as an example, is the Wisconsin is one of our states up in the Midwest, and that's a Print Industry Council. Meet once a month. It has normally about 16 to 20 people that are actually out of the Department of Natural Resources from the state, which these are the inspectors that goes out. And this whole monthly meeting is all talking about what's needed for press rooms and what's going on. And then we've actually, I provided Gravure training for them in April. and some of the other associations have done other training. But we try to make sure that the Department of Natural Resources people are familiar with Gravure, so if they have to go into a Gravure plant, that they're not questioning too many things of why their practices are done, and understand that sustainability and safety is at a high most. And actually what's happening now is other neighboring states are starting to approach the state of Wisconsin and asking to be able to get a similar type print industry council going with other states. So they were approached. We also were involved with the Brand Owner Graphics Association, which has a lot of the major brand owners that and so we're in that part of the organization where they meet monthly and they go over what ISO and G7 implementation and what other kind of controls and measurements are used to make sure that their brand colors and that their information. And we actually in March, I put a survey to the brand owners group and asked them what kind of things would they like to learn if they came to our conference, and that's where some of our agenda came from that meeting.
And here is we're a member of the FPA, Flexible Packaging Association. Each year, they actually poll all of their members and gather information, and that's how this information is obtained. And we have access to this as well. And this kind of shows you the global flexible packaging market by region. And then we also have the U.S. flexible portion of that as well. So the Flexible Packaging Association is very important. It does help us to keep the information available to all of the members.
And one of the things that, as part of the Gravure Association and AIMCAL, that we are trying to monitor and watch what laws and legislation is being passed here in the United States, and the extended producer responsibility, the EPR, is high on our radar, because this is one that would actually go for end of life of products. So this has a lot of the brand owners and the producers are all concerned, how is this going to be handled? States like New York, Massachusetts, and Washington are all considering these type of bills. Maine has one that looks like it may be passing anytime soon, so we're all watching this on how it's going to be implemented. Some of the things that's looking at it is that they may allow to have the producers to put a what they call a PRO, which is a producer responsible organization for how to plan and manage to be able to recycle or be able to take care of the waste and make sure that the sort of full circle is the term that they're using. And then I'll turn this one over to Luke.
So, every day you hear more and more about sustainability, recycling, reuse. Every day there's more and more interest in this. And also part of the thing is that plastics are given a bad name here. But things are being done in order to reuse products. So one of the things that my company has done, we're always looking for renewable content, those types of things, and we're also working very hard. We have gotten approval from the APR regarding for the recycling process here. This is where this is for shrink sleeve. And they print the shrink sleeve, they shrink it on the bottle, and then there is no way to separate the sleeve from the bottle. So what happens? This is a test method, and the next slide will show you. So on the left is the actual shrink film that was printed and had gone through the caustic wash along with the PET bottle flake. So what they do now is they grind the bottle with the label on. It goes through a caustic wash, and it washes the ink off of the actual label, and it allows both the flake and the film to be recycled together. So part of that is that the clarity has to be enough so that when they take the flake and the film and they actually make, it's called a puck, they'll actually extrude that material and make a puck, and then that puck, they actually measure the clarity of the puck and to get approval of the process. So this is something that is definitely of interest to a lot of producers, and also this is something that will be good for the future because now it allows them to recycle everything. So here are some examples, and this has been approved by the APR, the Association of Plastic Recyclers, and we expect to see this gain a lot of traction for the future.
And one of the things that's happening in the U.S. and at the Wisconsin Print Industry meeting that we had in September, we invited the director, Mark Phillips, from the Great Lakes Initiative to come and explain to us what this Great Lakes Initiative is. And this is in American Packaging that I mentioned earlier that was putting in the Flexo Wash to be able to make it safer for the people, their employees, and also to increase their productivity. They are one of the members of this and very much involved. And the Great Lakes in the United States is one of the massive amounts of water here. It's 21% of all of the clean water, fresh water in the United States, or 21% of all the fresh water in the world, 84% in the United States. So it's something that both Canada and the U.S., and this is a group that is combined from both sides of our international border, that is concerned with this, making sure that we keep this water clean and safe, and especially for the environment. And this is the packaging industry is very much involved with this, and we actually have invited them, and they're going to be speaking at the Gravure Day. Mark is going to speak at the Gravure Day at Western Michigan. And this is their approach from the Great Lakes, Circular Great Lakes, they call it. So they want to make sure to go through the collection and processing and markets, education and outreach, and then supporting policies to try to make sure that both of our countries that share the same water, that we work together on this. And this is one of the other reasons why we were enthusiastic about joining in with AIMCAL, because with AIMCAL being the Association of International Metallizers, Coaters, and Laminators, they have formed a sustainability committee. They actually had their own group that did 18 presentations in a simultaneous track while we were doing our 18 presentations over over Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. And this group is one of the reasons why we joined, because they are looking ahead, and this helps our printing group with the coating group and everybody on the same goal for the sustainability to be able to help all of our customers.
And this gets us to the Golden Cylinders Awards there, which were co-sponsored by AIMCAL. So here is, go ahead, Tony. There you go. So one of the winners is actually a sister company of Golio, Fresco here in the United States, System USA. This was one of the top awards. This is another award that they won, and they also, the best of the best, this was the award that they won. And we thank
for packaging and labeling.
Right. So we do thank everyone for the opportunity here